you kind of mentioned the whole like the super hero secret identity thing and stuff. Immediately when I think of when it comes to that stuff, a great representation of that is from X-Men 2, X-Men United, where the director of that series, other than some of the offshoots, X-Men 3 and X-Men Origins Wolverine and stuff like that, Bryan Singer is gay. And he did a great parallel when it came to certain characters like that, because the X-Men series has always been about being different, whether it's an ethnic thing or a religious thing or sexuality thing or whatever. It's always been the core of that series. And not only is Ian McKellen, Magneto, a huge icon for the community, but the scene in X-Men 2 where Bobby Drake's parents, Iceman's parents, are flat out having the conversation of coming out with him. And he's saying that he's a mutant. And they even had the line, "Have you tried not being a mutant?"
Yeah.
That is blatantly obvious supposed to be a kid coming out to his parents and stuff. And his little brother being like opposed to it and stuff like that. And they've recently just changed Iceman to be gay in the comics. They haven't really fully established the situation behind it, but from my understanding, it was a conversation with Jean Grey that Bobby was having where he was hitting on a bunch of women and saying that they were hot. And she said, because she can read minds and stuff, she was like, "Bobby, why are you trying so hard to be like, oh, these women are so hot? We all know you're gay." And he was just like, "What?" Colossus in the Ultimate series is gay. And even before that, North Star became one of the most well-known gay characters in comics because he came out as gay. He was just, flat out. North Star is a gay X-Men character and stuff like that, and he became a big icon and stuff like that. Dace, you had said beforehand about Colossus being gay, or that you didn't know that he was, I think?
I didn't, and that kind of bugs me because he had such a intense story arc with Kitty Pryde, and a lot. Hell, the biggest decision, which eventually I think got him killed, was he tried to save Kitty, and then Kitty did the same thing later on in the same issues. So it kind of.
Well, this is the Ultimate series.
Oh, I don't read that shit.
So that's the different maker. Like, there's no connection with him and Kitty in that one. He's just, I think it's like him and North Star actually. Iceman one though, that is the normal continuity, I think.
Yeah.
Which Iceman's had some kind of relationships with different people in the past, but I don't know. Like, I think of that as kind of. I'm disappointed that Iceman is the one that they went with.
As long as it doesn't change his character to the core, like they go, "Oh, he's gay," and then he's not out like the next block. He's banging dudes for
suddenly he's very flamboyant and very like yeah. Like, you can be Iceman and still be Iceman, and you just happen to be gay, like and. Now he's not like. I always thought it was stupid that he wore a stupid bandana because it was just like, "What the fuck you wearing a bandana for? You're Iceman."
Yeah.
But like, if they changed it now where it's like a rainbow bandana, it would just be like, "Oh, give me a goddamn break."
Yeah, trying too much. Like, it's.
If I would have went with a character for X-Men to change, I would have made Beast gay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
He always struck me as that kind of a character that like he
like
never
a bear.
Well, yes.
But, like, not like the stereotypical kind of thing of him being like very gentle and like astute and stuff like that, but he always kind of struck me as like they never really put him with a lot of people. Like, Wolverine is just sleeping with everybody, and Scott is with Jean and Emma Frost, and even doing the whole thing with Magneto and Professor X. Like, there was always kind of like some kind of a sexual tension there. They're not supposed to be, but people can read into it that way, especially when you see Ian McKellen kissing Patrick Stewart.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I would have gone with Beast, not Iceman. And I think the reason that they went with Iceman was because he wouldn't have been like the obvious choice, and he's kind of like, I don't know, like the younger male character would identify with the younger male audience and stuff more. Like, a teenager who is going through that right now wouldn't be like, well, I can look at Beast and that'll give me the courage to come out or whatever, but I can look at Iceman and that kind of thing. And I don't know, I kind of look at that as like, speaking from an outsider's perspective, I don't think that really matters. I would have gone with just Beast anyway because he seems like better character for it.
Yeah.
Makes more sense. Plus, he's really educated and stuff like that. So you're taking a womanizer and just making him gay. Why not make the astute one? Because Bobby's always, to me, been a background player. And Beast is more to the forefront. He's always in, like, politics, science. He's an Avenger. So he would have had a bigger impact.
And he could also actually, since he's one of the teachers there, one of the professors, he can kind of represent that idea of, like, we're learning from a total womanizer asshole like Wolverine, and we're learning from a stuck-up Boy Scout douchebag like Cyclops, and we're learning from this really strong female character in Storm, and also we have a gay professor in Beast, and we've got a wheelchair handy-capable character in Professor X, like, you know, that kind of, and then normal, well, not normal, far from normal when it comes to Jean Grey, because she's totally nuts, but I don't know, that's my, like, nitpicking of that kind of stuff, because I think you can change these characters, but you need to pick certain ones.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Beast would have made much more sense. He's also easy, can console the younger generation better than someone like Bobby. Like, Bobby's a joke cracker, so you can't really hit it home with any kind of in-depth material with Bobby, whereas Beast could drive it home a lot better because he's, like I said, more intellectual and such.
What do you guys think about, if you do know, I mean, I assume that a lot of people will be like, who? But the original Green Lantern, Alan Scott, they made him gay a couple years ago to kind of make him stand out. Good option, or just who the fuck is that?
It's for the sake of it. It's just, I really think it's just some marketing. I'm gonna put it in a better perspective. When you have characters that go on and on for decades, you know, Spider-Man and Superman, especially Superman, and whoever else, Batman, and there comes a point where you've recycled the franchise so much, there is nothing left to do but make them gay. You know, maybe 10 years from now, oh, they do yoga and are vegetarians, or vegans, rather. You know, it's just...
Right?
What?
So being vegan and doing yoga, like, never mind.
No, I didn't catch what you guys said. But the point is, it's so obvious that it's just for the sake of marketing. I don't care that maybe there was a backstory with a character or two, because that is so irrelevant. It's like saying, you might as well show the characters going to the bathroom, you know, in a panel or two, because, you know, they have to, they're human. You know, it's like, oh, they're human, so we have to talk about their sexuality or allude to it. It's like, okay, allude to it is fine, like, but don't create a whole culture behind it. Like, oh, now we're gonna make Spider-Man gay, you know, like, okay, do it, you know, do it tastefully. Don't put a fucking pride flag in every scene of the movie. That's what I'm saying. I know that's not being done, which is cool. But here's the thing. It's all franchises. And this is why I always remember there's one character, that nobody's ever going to question. And it's probably the richest character in the history of pop culture. And that's Calvin and Hobbes. Because there's never going to be any bullshit surrounding that character. And it's in everybody's hearts, you know? So, I don't know. That's kind of my view on it. I see it as nothing other than a marketing strategy, right?
Yes.
Even God agrees. See, and God is cool. I mean, he's cool. I've been talking to him. He's like, oh yeah, you know what? It's cool to be gay, but just, you know, like, do it in style. If you're gonna make movies with your characters and stuff, like Carolyn pointed out, you know, these are characters that people grew up with, and then all of a sudden it's like, we were just bullshitting you. Here's what we're gonna do now. You know, it's kind of,
I know what you're
it doesn't
going
make any
for,
sense. You can't take this stuff seriously. This is why I can't take these characters seriously anymore. I used to when I was a kid, and then there's a franchise here, then another franchise there. You know, there's Marvel, whatever. Then there's meets DC or versus DC, or if there was such a thing in the past, I don't know. That's what. Unfortunately, this mishandling of the franchises is what kind of made me drift away from comics.
But it's kind of funny that you bring that up, because like the marketing and how they make everything sensationalized and stuff. Because that, I think it's kind of it ties into sort of my argument that I always have about the quote strong female character end quote, where I have no problem whatsoever if a woman is kicking ass on screen, because women can do that. I hate when a woman is kicking ass on screen because she's a woman.
No, that makes no sense. Black Widow.
Black Widow is perfect in Winter Soldier. Especially the opening scene. Like, they're on the boat and she's just doing the same shit that Captain America's doing. And not once in that scene do I sit there and go, yeah, but she's got a vagina. Like,
right.
It's like, no, she is a trained assassin. She's fucking these people up because she's a trained assassin. But I hate it when a movie will come out and it'll be like this Supergirl TV show. I watched the pilot and it beats you over the head with this idea. It goes, there's literally like 5 lines in this one episode that revolve around the idea of her being a girl and that's supposed to be like risque. Like, there is a scene in it where she has not used her powers in like forever, and she never fights anybody anyway, so she's not like a trained fighter. And she's fighting somebody who not only is one of the worst criminals in Krypton's history, but he's also twice her size, and he has a weapon. And this army general goes, she's not going to stand a chance. And this woman goes, why? 'Cause she's a girl? And it's like, no, because she's a fucking teenager who doesn't know how to fight, and she's fighting a trained criminal with a fucking axe.
Right.
Like, but it's like,
logic.
Oh, because she's a girl, she can't fight? No. And I hate that stuff about stuff.
Man, that sounds like some cheesy dialogue from Roadhouse or something.
Right. I mean, it's blatantly obvious in the entire thing. I keep saying that tonight. I hate that. Apologize for all the times I'm saying blatant.
It's better than but.
Yeah, that's true.
Who got that?
They just really, really want to beat that into your head of like, the commercial says, it's not a bird, it's not a plane, it's not a man. And it's like, I know it's not a man because it's Supergirl.
The drone.
If it was a man named Supergirl, that series would be wrong because she is Kara.
It'd be perfect for this conversation, though.
You know, it would be. Like, I'm surprised they don't do that kind of stuff. But that kind of mentality of like, we're going to do this thing to be more politically correct, but we're going to point it out to you, defeats the purpose of being politically correct. Like, you can have a character like Renee Montoya and even Maggie Sawyer in the comics and stuff. These are 2 cops in Metropolis and Gotham City. Renee Montoya is a lesbian. And not once in the animated series did I sit there and go, she might be gay and, whatever. It was just like, oh, Renee Montoya is a cop. She's a good cop.
Right.
She's a better cop than Harvey Bullock because he's a fat, drunken pig of an asshole. And Renee Montoya is a good cop. So I don't care that she's a lesbian. I don't need to see her pining.
Yeah, that was just wrong, man. You know, it's drunken asshole of a pig, not drunken pig of an asshole.
He's one of them drunken pig asshole type.
Yeah. Wow.
But,
that's not cool.
They don't broadcast it as like Renee Montoya is this character that needs to represent the lesbian community or something like they are in the Gotham series. And I know you watch that, Dace. They've made Barbara Gordon bisexual, and she's got a relationship with Renee Montoya.
They made her a slut.
And on top of that, but like Renee Montoya's got to be like, she's done nothing but be the former flame of Barbara. And it was like, well, shit, she's supposed to be a good cop. Can't you have her like solving a goddamn crime?
You know what it is? I feel that, and I don't want to say writers, but like people that are doing these TV shows, especially in some movies, people just get so lazy when it comes to character development. I think that if they say, oh, and she's a cop and she's gay, like that's enough description to make a character layered and complex and real. You know, it becomes like one of their selling points, and that's not what we had in the comic books. Like you said, like good cop, like that was like the biggest thing about her. But no, you know, she's a lesbian, and she had an affair with Barbara, and that's who she is. And that's just retarded. Silly, stupid. And people don't like the word retarded.
I was just gonna say, now people are gonna be like, "Oh my god, I'm offended because you're talking about the gay people. You're talking about changing races. Now you're saying retarded. I hate this fucking Fanboys Anonymous."
Sorry,
And if you're one of those people, fuck off. God damn it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, like they don't need to do that kind of stuff. They've been hinting out now that Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn have had a relationship, and that's fine. I don't care. You know, Poison Ivy's always struck me as a character that could totally be lesbian, and they've really hit on it a lot over the years of her hating a lot of like men and stuff.
Yeah.
And
Harley Quinn had such an abusive relationship with the Joker for so long that I felt that, you know, I don't know, Dace says that Poison Ivy is a player or whatever. I don't know. She might be, but I just feel like their relationship is just so sweet and
Is that she's
nice.
a plant?
Oh, I thought you said player.
No, she's a slut, but also a plant.
Oh, okay.
Androphilia.
There you go. You
There's a
were.
hook up with
chlorophyll joke here somewhere.
Oh God.
I'd chlorophyll her.
There you go. I was like, I know
Oh yeah.
we're dancing around it, but...
Oh God.
Oh, God is laughing.
Sam.
That makes you know, with the Harley Quinn situation, yeah, she had this horribly abusive relationship with the Joker. That might kind of turn her off against men, at least for a little bit or something in the comics, because that happens. You know, people run into that situation. People will be like abused as a kid, and then they grow up to be like asexual, or you know, they grew up and they were unfortunately like molested or something, and that warped their perception of things. And I don't know, I mean, it's
Absolutely.
kind of like, you know, I don't mind that kind of a thing, although I do kind of find it a little bit annoying in a way that they changed Catwoman to be bisexual, because one of her backstories, you know, they change it over the years, of course. She's not as like confusing as the Joker, where you don't even know his goddamn name, but like he has his like absence of a backstory, and Catwoman has a couple backstories. One of them is that she was a prostitute, and one of the characters that is associated with that kind of a story is Holly Robinson, and Holly Robinson has been somebody who is a lesbian. To me, it was like, well, you've already got Holly Robinson. Does Catwoman need to be bisexual? Because we know that Catwoman is like pretty much the one for Batman. You can only really argue Talia and Catwoman, and maybe Vicky Vale, because nobody's going to be like, no, that's Silver St. Cloud, goddammit. Like, but,
Robin.
Or Robin. Robin is the woman for Batman.
It's so many of them because they
Alfred.
all turn on.
But like,
Any news on the any scoops on the sexuality of Alfred?
He's the asexual
Alfred's had relationships in the past. He had a daughter, too.
one.
A dog?
Daughter.
Oh,
A
okay.
dog is
Well,
not
technically they've had a dog.
He's the
Oh shit, that's fucked up.
Ace the Bat Hound.
Hey, but hey, you can't judge. You know what I mean?
They should
But
be
I mean, like,
married.
They changed Catwoman to be bisexual, and I think that's because she's a very sexual character, and they kind of want to just play with it, you know, because there's probably some people out there, and they're probably just like, oh, it was so hot that Catwoman was kissing this chick, and it's like, it's
Right.
a goddamn cartoon, dude. Like,
Oh, I mean, but people marry their pillows, so
oh,
I'm
those
sure
people
that-
are fucked up, though. I mean, come on.
No. Break. Okay, intermission just for this. What the fuck are you talking about?
What? You don't know? Like the
I kind of don't.
waifu?
I really want to now.
That pillow's a good listener, a good cuddler, and doesn't give me sass back. So I will marry that pillow in a heartbeat.
Hey, that cuddle
Yeah.
supports me.
Yeah.
or at least my neck at night.
I put that pillow between my legs. It goes to town.
No, don't fuck around. Is this for real? Don't fuck around. Don't fuck around. Is this for real?
Yes. Yes.
No. I don't believe it. No. I don't believe it.
I'm serious. Like, check it out. If you look for waifu pillows.
Nah, it's made up. I don't know.
No, it's not.
Big guy
it's an
says so.
actual thing.
Okay,
No, I've
It's
actually
an
seen
actual
pictures.
thing.
Okay, I'm gonna
People that have,
Google
like, a
this.
big
If I'm
group
not
meeting.
satisfied with the Google results, I'm calling shenanigans.
Okay then.
I saw a
Hang on. What's it
picture,
called? Pillow.
waifu.
Waifu?
Waifu, I think.
Mary Korean.
WAIFU.
SU? Like,
SU?
shut up.
S as in face?
No, okay, yeah.
So, like, fuck you.
Yes.
If you're a doll.
It's like a Wi-Fi thing that's gone weird. Like, it's a pillow.
Yeah, it's Wi-Fi that's fucked up from Comcast.
Oh, no wonder she'd always
Why
just
fuck you?
fuck yeah. Paint pictures on their pillows. I never thought of doing that.
Yeah.
But see,
you
that
can
brings
get.
up that brings up a different point entirely. While Eddie is researching this and hopefully not typing with one hand.
Look at the ass on that one.
If you've got this idea, this mentality of we need to change characters to be more representation of different people, like transgender character and stuff like that, I'm fine with that to an extent as long as it works. I mean, we've already established, like I said, you should make Beast gay because that makes sense, and Apollo and Midnight are cool, fine. But like, at what point do we just get where people start complaining about every little thing? Because people do that now.
Yeah,
constantly.
exactly, and they're not going to stop because complaining about things is fun.
Like, are we just going to get to
yeah.
a point now where
Totally.
like somebody's going to complain and be like, "Well, I really don't like how the Flash doesn't that he's flirting with Iris West. He should be flirting with a pillow because that makes me feel uncomfortable."
That'd be
Like,
awesome.
You can't be all inclusive for everybody, and not to say like if you stand out, that's kind of one of the things you just got to deal with. But this of course is not a good parallel, but it's the best I can come up with. I don't drink, I don't smoke, and I don't do any drugs at all. And I am totally fine with the idea that, like, to almost everybody, that's fucking weird. And I don't know how many conversations I have to have with people where they're like, so you don't drink anything ever, like, at all? Like, you don't even drink beer? And I'm like, no. And if they were like, well, we don't want to invite him out to a bar because what's he going to do? I'd be like, oh, that makes sense. Not like, I'm terribly offended. You need to invite me out to this kegger and I can watch everybody drink.
Keg stands.
Woo.
Tony.
Yeah, you can totally get drunk like like
Drunk on Powerade.
on osmosis. No, I mean like
Drunk on sugar. That's what I do.
Contact drunk.
yeah, sort of. The fumes of the alcohol will kind of get you there. Like I haven't had alcohol like in over a year, and honestly, like, what's the big deal? Like, I don't miss it at all, and I feel better, and
Yeah, like,
and no, I don't smoke, I don't do drugs, whatever. I don't do any of that stuff, and I'm totally fine. I don't get it,
Yeah, and I stand out that way, and I'm not sitting there complaining about, like, well, why aren't there more characters? Like, every freaking TV show, people drink. And there's some TV shows that are entirely about people drinking and stuff.
Right.
And, like a movie like Beer League or whatever it was. I didn't go see that movie, but I didn't not go see it because it's about drinking. I didn't go to see it because it looked stupid and it didn't have good reviews. But I would have perfectly gone to go see it if it looked funny. It wouldn't have been like, well, you got to make a movie about non-drinkers. And when people complain about, like, diversity in comics and movies and TV shows and stuff, and they would take a character, like, I don't know, I was pitching a random character here, like, if you've got the Avengers, and if somebody was like, well, why can't Hawkeye be gay? Why does he have to have a family? Well, why does he have to be gay? Like, why?
Right.
Like, can't he have a family? Nobody else has a family.
He needs the family so we can kill them later.
Yeah. So we can kill him in Civil War, and then he can fight on the side that wants to have the registration.
Yeah.
And if that doesn't happen, I'll be upset. But, like, you should make things more diverse because it's not the way that it used to be. I mean, comics were made back in an era where people, like, were prosecuted or persecuted, not prosecuted, persecuted for being different in a lot of ways. And even when it comes to women in comics, like Lois Lane used to be a total pushover. And she was just kind of like, well, I've got my apron on, I'm going to make Superman some cookies. And then now it's like she is a badass kind of like, I'm the feisty one of the two, and Superman is the one who's, you know, the wimp and stuff. Perfectly fine. I mean, you should change as time goes on, but you shouldn't change for the sake of it being a publicity thing.
Right.
Well, here's the thing. Like, yeah, I agree. I'm like, just stuff happens for the sake of it. And like, if you look at movies, comedy movies, back in the whatever decades, now there's so much more like marijuana and pot culture going on that like there have been some great movies, especially from like that whole Seth Rogen kind of Jonah Hill. Is that his name? Jonah Hill.
Jonah Hill. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Dude, I saw this movie. What was it? The End of the World or something?
This
the World
is the
Ends.
end.
Dude, oh my God, that movie was so fucking funny. I was not expecting it to be so funny. And it totally revolves around potheads.
Right.
It totally revolves around potheads, and it's hilarious. Like, it's, you know, like, and I don't care much for pot and all that stuff, the whole culture that comes with it, but that was, I love that movie. So, I mean, it's just saying, like, yeah, okay, I don't care if a character's gay, but just don't, you know, don't define him. Don't start defining him by his sexuality. I mean, although sexuality defines everybody, you know, every individual is defined by their sexuality one way or another. That doesn't mean that you're going to display a work of fiction that's usually PG-13 or at best rated R, and revolve that around him being gay or something. You know, don't make that a selling point. Don't make that the tagline of the movie. You know,
because you don't do that with the heterosexual characters.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Whoa. Hang on a second. I, unfortunately, you know, before the podcast, I was like, you know what? Yeah, these movies, you know, they keep like waving all this like gay pride in my face. And I'm like, I don't wave my heterosexual pride in anybody's face. So I'm like, oh shit. How many times have I bragged about having banged this chick and that chick? And then I remember Barney Stinson. And then I remember Joey Tribbiani. And then I remember all sorts of alpha male, you know, like totally like macho hetero dude have banged all the, you know, every chick on the face of the earth. And I'm like, maybe you can't get away from it, you know? Like, now we're finally starting to see the other side. Maybe because, you know, homosexuals are still, you know, a minority. I mean, who knows what God has in store for us in the past several centuries, but. Oh, what did you like to know? Yeah. And so, I mean, it just occurred to me, like, we're so used to the, you know, like the whole, you know, being straight is normal that it's going to strike us kind of weird. And who knows what's going to happen next.
I would say being a straight male is normal. Because whenever we see a female character who's sleeping with a bunch of different guys, she's just a slut.
Mm-hmm.
Total slut.
You know?
Well, I mean, I'm talking like gay, like you know,
Gay slut.
well, I mean, it doesn't matter. It's all revolving around sexuality one way or another. We just don't see it because we're so used to it. You know, like when we see a character that's like, oh, he's gonna catch them all, and
Pokemon.
Ash?
yeah, he's gonna catch them all. And it's like,
Is that why
that's
Ash
normal.
never really did anything with Misty? He was more into Brock.
Who isn't?
Brock is the man. I mean, he did turn a frying pan into a drying pan.
Oh my god, dude! I not know that was coming.
Oh, right. Don't you see? I mean, you know, heterosexual promiscuity, you know, from a male standpoint, is fine. It's normal. Anything else outside of that is kind of weird, slutty, or freak, or whatever. Like, yeah, like Caroline said, if a girl does it, and then we can get into anthropology here, but whatever. For the sake of it, you know, let's keep going. If a girl does it, she's a slut. So, you know, what if, you know, the next character, you know, like Supergirl, if they make Supergirl like a super slut? You know, what's the criteria? I mean, a lot of guys will go watch that totally. And like, oh yeah, she's getting plowed, and she's like, yeah, because her character revolves around this. So you can't not display it one way or another, even if you're just alluding to it. You don't have to show the porn or anything. I'm just saying, just allude to it constantly, and you're working up this sexual tension in between the fans and the characters. And then this is why you see a fucking Korean guy marrying his pillow. Right? Because it's got a fucking manga character.
I am totally buying one right now.
I know you just click purchase because there was only one left, and then I tried to purchase it, and then it said sold out.
That's how I roll.
Yeah. And
in 2 days, I'll be rolling with her. What up?
Whatever. I got the red-haired one.
No. There's another one with like face down, ass up. I know I'm completely sidebarring, but you know.
That's the one I got, dude.
Sex.
But there's like 5 left, so you can still get it.
Oh. I don't want to be jealous. I don't want to be like a slut and have 2 pillows. So I'll just.
Oh yeah, one of them might be jealous.
Yeah, that's fucked up, man. Anyways, back to the topic. What were we talking about?